Hey everyone, thanks for joining. It's Patty from PS Paper Crafts, and I'm so glad that you decided to spend some time with me today. I'm going to make this really beautiful card, fall card. It says "So Grateful," and I love the leaf on this. And then on the inside, I just have one of these. And I don't know what they're called. We used to open them and put them on our noses. And whirlywinds, I don't know. There's some name for them. If you know it, leave me a comment with it. I'm using the Soft Seedling stamp set, and this, I love this. It's just so pretty. Thinking of you, so grateful for you, and hello. So I did a so grateful, and I could put for you in there, but I'm not sure. I'm just going to leave it, and maybe I'll add it in the future. So let's get started. I did use Rich Razzleberry as my card base, and then this is Very Vanilla. And I already cut my pieces, so I used the scalloped contours to cut the large piece that we'll stamp on, and that was this large one, the biggest one there. And then I used the smallest one for the sentiment, and it just fit this perfectly. So that's what I did. I already cut it, and I'll show you how I got this great kind of variation of looks here. So let's get that started first. And then I have an inside layer. So the first thing I want to do is get my stamp, and I am going to stamp it completely with Daffodil Delight ink. And then I'm going to color over it and do a little dauber sponging kind of thing with it. So I'm going to use darker colors on top of this. So I'm okay with the stems and those little whirly things. Getting the Daffodil Delight ink on it. So now I want to get my markers, and I am going to color the stems. And you have to use your Stamp and Write markers. You don't want to use your blends. You never want to color your stamp, your rubber stamp, with your blends. You only want to use the Stamp and Write markers. Those are the ones that are round, and those are water-based. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Number one, you're not going to get that ink. It dries so quickly, it's not going to transfer onto your cardstock, and it could dry out your stamp. You know, it's got alcohol in it, so you just want to be careful of that. So we're going to just color the stems, and you can color the whole thing this way. I love this technique where you color right on your stamp, and it really works well with red rubber stamps. And this is Soft Suede, and then I'm going to use Rich Razzleberry to do these little things, whirly things. I'm going to call them whirly things. So do you remember them? You used to pick them, and then you would split it here and split it open and put it on your nose. Did anybody else ever do that? Or is that just me? It's funny because people at different parts of the country have different things and use them in different ways, I guess. So I have them out here. We have a red maple tree, and this is a maple leaf, and these are on them, but they're very small. I was trying to do it with my grandkids, and maybe because I'm bigger, they seem very small to me and hard to, I can't get them open. So we'll see if they get bigger over time. Let me just, I feel like I'm missing a spot there. There we go. Okay, so that's colored, and now I want to bring in my sponge daubers, and I'm going to do just a little bit of Calypso Coral, and I'm just going to take my sponge dauber and just ink it up, and I'm just going to put a little bit here, just right down here. I want to keep some yellow there, and you have to be careful because you can't really see it. This one you can. So I have Rich Razzleberry, and I'll use another sponge dauber. And on this one, I'm just going to do the edges, just like that. And I think you can see this one. So I just want to get the edges. And I went around the bottom. I don't think I'm going to do that on this one. On my other card, I actually went all around the whole thing. But I think I'm just going to do the tops. And each time, it will come out a little bit different. Okay? So I'm going to breathe on this because I feel like it's been out for a little bit, and we call it huffing. So if you just breathe on it, it just moistens everything up. Huffing doesn't sound very good, so I'm going to go with the breathing. And I think I want to move this up a little bit more than I did on my previous card. And just have it coming down from the side. Okay, and there you go. Isn't that pretty? I guess it's about the same as this. I feel like I went up so far, but it's good. And now we have that done, and I think it's pretty. I think these colors kind of looks like the leaves that are turning. And I'm hoping they turn up here. We had such a drought in New York, and I have a feeling that the leaves are just going to die and fall off, so I'm hoping not. So let me get my Rich Razzleberry, and I want to do the So Grateful. We'll just ink that up. And you could actually stamp right here. You don't even have to do this. I kind of contemplated back and forth, and maybe the Thinking of You would stamp across the whole thing. But I'm going to make it just like my sample, unless this doesn't come out good. Then we may change our mind. And I like the very simple kind of script here. I think it's pretty. And that's basically it. I mean, you know, the card is pretty much done. So we'll just put this down. Try to pick it up first. And I'll just use some liquid glue on it. Just a little bit more than nothing, right? And we'll put this down, get it centered. And I like this scalloped layer because it really takes up a lot of room, but it gives you that pretty border. And Rich Razzleberry is one of my favorites. So then we can get our Stampin' Dimensionals and just put some of these on the back of this and pop it up a little bit. Just to, it's very vanilla on very vanilla. So I thought, you know, popping it up might just make it stand out a little bit more. And we'll just put this right down here. See, I'd like to have this up a little bit, but it's good enough. It's deceiving where I'm stamping. Okay, and then I just took a piece of this Baker's Twine, and I do believe this is soft suede, this color. So I think it's black, very vanilla, crumb cake, and then I believe this is soft suede. And we're just going to tie a very tiny bow. Now on this one, I waxed it first with beeswax, and let me do that again. It's such a small bow that I don't think it's necessary, but this was one of the tips I showed on my weekly tip. So if you subscribe to my email list, every week I have a tip or a technique or a product review, and this was one of them. And it just helps you to have your, sometimes this is very unruly, so it just helps you to keep it you know, stiff, a little bit stiffer. And I usually don't tie the bow until before I cut it off, but I did it this time. It just makes it a little bit easier to work with. And this is a very tiny, tiny bow because I just wanted it on here. And then I'll just take my scissors and cut the tails. And the other thing I'm doing, just so you know, is starting October 5th, I am going to do the 12 weeks of Christmas, and it's exclusive to my email subscribers. So if you want, you can go to my blog, or there's a link down below this video. Subscribe to my email list, and each week I'll be sending a video and a PDF with a different, some of them will be gifts, packaging, tags, cards. There'll be all different things for the 12 weeks of Christmas, and it'll take us right through to December. While I'm talking, I'm getting this little glue dot. I think it's stuck to my finger more. It's on my finger. Let's get it on the bow. Okay. Why am I having so much trouble here? There we go. Usually I have trouble tying the bow, not putting it down when I'm on a video. So that, and then I use these great what are these? The brushed metallic adhesive back dots. And there's gold and pewter and then bronze. And I decided I would use the bronze because I thought they really go with this whole fall color. So I'll just put 3 on. You could put big or little, whatever you want. And I'll put one right here. And let me do it this way. Up here. Pretty, right? I love these colors. I love the fall. I mean, that's my favorite season. So anything fall related is just great for me. So again, you can put a sentiment on the inside. I'm just going to put one of these whirly things up top. You guys are probably all laughing saying, we know what it is. We know what it is. But I just can't remember. I'll have to Google it. That would probably have been the right thing to do, right? You can Google everything. And I'll just put this on the inside. And the card is done. Very simple, but I think it's such a pretty look. This technique is great. And you can do it with trees, you know, to get different shades of green. And I think it's nice to use the sponge daubers. And always go with your light color first. And if it's light enough, then you can do the whole thing instead of trying to just get the leaf and then just color over it. So these are the 2 cards. This is the stamp set. Thanks so much for joining, and come back and visit again. And again, subscribe to my email list. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. Thanks so much and have a good day. Bye.